going to take a minute. Okay, it says one there now. What? There we go.
All right, welcome everybody. Hope everybody's having a fabulous Valentine's Day. I'm giving my Valentine the day off. So we've got my son behind the camera helping me out tonight, and my puppy dog here that loves to chase cars. She's a good pup. But anyways, so I thought it would be really fun and really cool tonight to do this head-to-head comparison. The way I kind of stumbled onto this is a few years ago I had a silicone made for oil applications. I was looking for something to replace the current best stuff, and it wasn't a very successful test on it. Now that I've learned and grown a little bit, I need to rerun that test because there's actually a possibility that I would work really well over there too. But anyways, I was helping tune a car, and I just wasn't getting the speed out of it like I was hoping for. And then I got to thinking, you know, I have this stuff. Let me just try it, put it on the axles. And so I put it on the axles, put some more graphite in there, put it on the track, and it picked up 2/100ths of a second. Now, 2/100ths of a second in Pinewood Derby racing is huge. That's about a car length. It's big. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Maybe I just had something else off before, blah, blah, blah. But nonetheless, I was very happy with the car, the way it sped up and the tuning of it. So I'm like, I might be onto something here. So I tried I cut a set of wheels, and I prepped it, and I prepped it with the Pledge. I ran it, and it ran a time. And then I just took those wheels out, cleaned the axles off, put this other additive on there, and re-graphited it, put it back together, and the car picked up 1/100th of a second. I was like, okay, well, maybe there is something to this. So this is going to be the main test here, where I have 2 sets of wheels cut. And there are ultralight wheels. There are 1.5 gram wheels. And so I have 2 sets of them cut, and the bores and the hubs have been prepped and polished with our bore sealant, or simple green, however you want to call it. Maximum velocity, it's our pro bore sealant. On Derby Evolution, it's simple green. So they've been prepped, the wheels have been prepped with that. And then we have just a set of speed axles, our BSA speed axles that have been polished, and that's it. The car we're going to use is just our test car. It's our Predator body over on the Max V side, Scout wheelbase. The cant is drilled at 3 degrees in the rear, and then we have the cant drilled for the front steering. So there is no steering manipulations to try to get more speed out of this car. We're just putting straight axles in all of the slots, sending it down. We're going to do a 4-run average. We're going to run them across each lane, take the average of the Pledge, and then we'll pull those wheels out and axles out, and we'll prep the other set, or just apply the Game Changer onto the other set, put it together, run it down, and see if there's a difference. On prep stuff, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, so we're going to learn together. So this could be either a sink or swim video for us. It could be really awesome, or it could suck. But either way, we'll learn together, and so it should be pretty fun. Also, I have my son watching the chat. If you guys would get on there, you know, post where you're from, That'd be cool. If you have any questions, write them on there and he'll read them out to me and I'll try to answer, you know, as best as I can. Also remember, please be decent. You know, if you can be anything in this world, be kind. So we'll do our best to have a good time and give you some, hopefully some pretty positive results. But if not, we'll have results nonetheless and we will know it. And hopefully it won't take too long. All right, so we are a couple minutes away from 6 o'clock, and I said 6 o'clock we'd get it started, so we'll wait a few minutes. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask, just type it in the chat, and we'll answer them up for you. And then once we hit 6 o'clock, I'm just going to take the wheels and the axles and throw them in a bowl. We'll kind of stir them up. I'll pull 3 wheels out at random and 3 axles out at random, just so you know that there's not any shenanigans going on as far as, you know, a better set of wheels for the new stuff that we're testing, or a better set of axles. It's just going to be a random pull, and we will be using the Max V graphite solely for this. So I don't know how it'll perform on other graphites. I'm sure it'll be fine on other graphites, but we will be just using the Max V stuff tonight. So we'll get started here in a minute and hopefully have a good little result. I guess any results is good results, right? So I did create a race file, so it'll actually be saved. You'll be able to see the average instantly of the 4 runs. So it should be pretty cool. Any questions yet?
Nope. Someone just said that they like your shirt.
Nice. The boy behind the camera is the one that purchased this for me for Christmas. He got me another one that says socialism distancing, which is pretty cool. Every time I go out in public, and I get people that are like, "Oh, I love your shirt. I love your shirt." So that's 100% him. He did a good job. You gonna stay there? You gonna stay on the couch, or you gonna chase the cars? Yeah, I bet you're gonna try to chase the cars. So we'll put her out so she doesn't try to race the cars. She is fast, but this floor is slick. So, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on, Picture. Come here. Come on. She knows she's about ready to get put out. And she's like, "Please don't put me outside. I don't want to go out there by myself." But she's got 2 other dog friends out there, so I don't like the chase cars. So. All right, I think it's 6 o'clock, so let's get started. So, we have our axles. And I figure we'll do the pledge first, and then we'll do the new stuff. If it works good, we'll call it Game Changer. If it doesn't, we'll call it trash. So, here's the wheels, here's the bowl. I'm just gonna throw those all in here. Axles, throw those in here, mix them up. You can't see, don't know what anything is in there. So we'll pull out 3 wheels. I'll just set them here, and then I'll pull out 3 axles maybe. Come on, where are they at? All right, so we got our 3 and 3. We'll set those other 3 there. And we will prep this one up with some pledge and start racing it and get our result. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just apply the graphite, or the pledge and the graphite here, and then I'm going to run the car down once, and then after that we'll start the timing procedure. I found that usually the first run is the slowest run, kind of gets the graphite a little more burnished in there and moved around. So we'll run it one time before we start the time test. So again, we're using Max V ultralight 1.5 gram wheels and BSA speed axles polished, and then our test car that is BSA wheelbase, canted rear, and the steer is drilled into the car. So we've got some nice polishing cloths here. Just going to throw the 3 axles in here. Got my trash can, and we got some pledge polish. Get a nice little coat on there. We'll kind of.
Someone said that you should put some jig on your shoes so they don't squeak as much on the floor.
Yeah, seriously. This floor is slick, man. It's if I put anything on my shoes, I'll be on my back in a matter of minutes. Big shout out to my good buddy Bulldog for his Stone Coat countertop flooring. You guys are in the market for epoxy flooring. You better look him up because he's got the stuff. I've got this in my garage and down here, and it's incredibly good. All right. Okay, so we got those.
Wait, Dad, someone said, missed beginning explanations. When you switch products, are you cleaning and using the same wheels and axles?
No, so we have a new set of wheels and axles for each product. We just put them all in the bowl, shook them up so they were drawn at random. They are the same machining or the same cut, and the same axles. So it's all going to be completely at random, but they, you know, like I said, being the same stuff, it's not going to matter. So, and then you can always rewind and go back to the, you know, early explanation on, you know, everything there. So, all right. First stuff, just kind of blow in there and make sure there's no contaminants in there. And we drop that in. You're gonna apply the graphite. My old age, I need to get some bifocals. We're not going super duper crazy on the graphite. Just get some down in there in the bore. And like I said here, we're all straight axles. There's no tuning, there's no nothing. This is a super consistent car. Runs really well. Putting both graphite out on the head, and then we're flipping it over and applying it down in the journal and the bore, and kind of bouncing the wheel up and down to work that graphite down in there. Spray off any, or blow off any excess. Alright. One more wheel to go, and then we can start running this pledge car. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm hoping that it's as good as what it's been showing me earlier, so. But you know, because I decided to do a live feed thing, it'll probably flop, but that's alright, I'd rather know than offer something that's not what it claims to be, so. Alright. Spin those over here, blow them out. Okay, so I'm just going to send it down, and we're just going to do one kind of break-in run, and then we will do the actual run. So, good sound in the car, good break-in run. All right. Oh, okay.
Oh, the spring turned off.
Yeah,
Alright.
okay, so we'll get started here. Any other questions or anything?
Nope.
All right, so it's just going to start in the red lane, and it's going to move across. We'll take all of those averages, or all those times, average them out, see what it does. Okay, here we go. Pretty consistent. Break-in run was a 75, this one's a 74. Get back into the gate before it tries to reset. Alright. Alright, now we're going to the white lane. Let the computer reset. 5. All right, to the black lane. Here we go. Ooh, little jiggle there. Still a good time. So as of right now, for 3 runs, it's average 29765. We'll see what it does here on its last run. All right, here we go, last run for it. Good solid run. And it looks like it ran a 79 again. All right, perfect. So, kind of zoom in on the average there. So we have the average for the pledge car of a 29772. I'm just gonna write that down so I can have something to refer
Do
to.
you want me to put it in the chat?
You can. All right. And then we're gonna go over here to the game changer.
The game changer.
Game changer. Laughing at blocks. All right, pull the wheels out here.
What's the steer of the car?
The steer of the car on our tuning table, every tuning table is going to be a little bit different. But I believe it's right around, at 4 feet, it's right around 6 inches, I believe. 5 to 6, I don't know. I know it's pretty much the same all the time. So, all right, here's the other wheels and axles. We'll grab these and get them prepped up and ready to go. Meet the pledge wheels and axles. So, if this stuff, it does work like like I'm hoping, it will come in a little vial, kind of like our oil. And it's kind of like the oil. The less you use, you don't need a whole lot. I mean, you can put quite a bit on there and it'll absorb into the graphite, but you don't need to. So.
Are you using axle washers?
No, no washers. It's right up against the body, the wood body. All right, so we have these wheels here. All right, blow those out. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna take this and put a couple drops on this polishing cloth. And this is just kind of the beginning with this stuff. I actually put it in some of the bores and it responded really well too. So this is definitely something you could put on the wheels and in the bore, or on the wheels and the axles. But I think it's I haven't done enough testing with it yet. But it's kind of one of those things that kind of like the oil. I think less is more kind of a thing. You don't want big puddles of this stuff, you know, for stuff to gum up. So I just put some drops in that polishing cloth, spun the axle in the actual silicone, and then we're going to put it on in the wheel, just like we did with the pledge. And you say graphite here, put some on the head. Drop some down in the journal. All right. So, wheel number 1. Okay. Got another axle here. This stuff is so slick. Of course, I try to pick this thing up and it falls right to the ground. All right, so Another nice thing about this stuff is it is 100% non-toxic. There's no chemicals in it as far as for cleaning agents or anything like that. So you can get it on your skin and it's not going to hurt anything or your kids or anything like that. So it's completely safe. That was one thing when I was having them make it, you know, I wanted it to be really a safe agent, and they did a really good job with it. Man, I can barely hold on to this thing. It's wanting to slide out of my hands. All right. All right, one more to go. Just putting another dab on there. And here again, we're just spinning the axle in it. When you do it, thinking we're probably, if this is something that it has a positive outcome, we'll probably sell it with a few, with a polishing cloth, a nice lint-free silk microfiber, and a couple other things to help you make sure you can get the best out of it.
Are you just eyeballing the wheel gaps?
Yeah, I have a pretty good feel for gaps over the years, and so I like to run them pretty tight. This track, the MPW-DRL track, is insanely smooth and consistent, so we don't need to run really big gaps and everything. All right, so we're just going to run it down as one first little practice run, and
Are you using anything inside the wheel bores?
so the wheels have been polished and prepped with our simple green on the Derby Evolution site or the Pro Bore Sealer on the Maximum Velocity site. So the wheel bores have been prepped using our diamond polish or our SSP. And so yeah, that process there. We have a couple video about wheel prep there. And I'm just going to send this down. It's not even going to give us time, so we'll be ready for it when it actually goes down. So, all right. So yes, the wheels have been prepped. They were both prepped the exact same. We dropped all 6 wheels in the bowl at the beginning, random draw 3, and then went to town. All right. So, put your votes in. Is it going to be better? I'm nervous. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be the same? Or is it going to be worse? What's your vote, Tater?
Oh, I hope it's better.
Me too, or else it's a whole big waste of time.
Both yours and mine.
All right, here we go. First pass on the Game Changer. Oh, that is not better.
Not better?
Not better. All right, let's see if it'll break in.
79. Oh.
Well, that's funny.
What would you figure is an average wheel bore inner diameter for these wheels?
The wheel bore outer,
In-
like
in-
the
inner
inner diameter,
Yeah.
usually like 99 to 100.
99 to 100.
Yeah, like point 0.9. Gosh dang. This thing's gonna be pointless after this. All right. Maybe it was because I was putting some in the bores on the other one too. We'll see. We'll run it through and see what happens. You ready? Okay. That's comical.
Wah, wah, wah. Hey, maybe we'll have to.
This is a little bit thicker than the pledge stuff. So it might just need to work in a little bit. But if not, what I'll do, yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
Might be a redemption of the Game Changer.
The game flopper. We can call this the Kansas City Chiefs. Alright, here we go. Oh, we just might as well just stop it here. It's wiggled there and slowed way down. Alright,
Hey, we got one more run.
one more to go.
One more run.
No game changer. So, what I'm devising from this is my first test of using this stuff on fully prepped axles and wheels. And it's not working as well as it works on unprepped axles and wheels. So, anyways, the testing I did before was on unprepped wheels. The axles were polished, but the wheels were unprepped. So, all right, let's try this one last run. Here we go. Oh, yeah, a little bit. I think it's too slick. It's just wiggling through that transition. Well, there you go. You can see that it was so inconsistent that the computer said, hey, something's not right. So, no game changer, game flopper. At least we have a little better idea. Good grief. I wasn't happy with a lot of those runs. So, I'm thinking that more might be better, because I put hardly any on it. But I got so excited I wanted to try to get a video out to you guys, have some conversation with you. But this kind of reminds me of my good buddy Bulldog. He made one of my favorite Pine Derby videos. Is he made a storage box,
A shipping box.
Super happy about how well it was working and all of his testing. And a shipping box for the cars for league racing. And I remember he got up on the roof and he threw it off of his roof onto the ground, and you know, with excitement that Bulldog has, and he got down and you know, his wife was down there, she picked it up, and he's like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, the car's still in there, and he gets down there and you hear him go, oh, because it had broken all kind of apart and stuff. But that's why we do these things, to try to keep pushing the envelope and moving forward. I'm not done with this because like I
People
said,
are saying they want a redemption of this Game Changer.
yeah, seriously, because I'm telling you, on the other two cars that I put this on, it was incredible. I was shocked, and that's why I'm shocked at the results right now. But on the same note, I did put quite a bit more of the silicone. I actually put it in the wheel bores too. But because these wheels were fully prepped, I didn't feel that we needed to put it on there. So if you guys want to hang out, I'll pull those wheels off. I'll run a swab of it through the bores, and we'll try it again and see if you want to do it, if it'll pick up speed. We'll learn together. I'm perfectly okay with that. Let me see here.
Out of all the upgrades you can do on a Pine Derby car, which one produces the best results, would you say?
Having the car properly set up for the track that you're racing on. In my opinion, that is like the biggest speed killer or speed enhancer, is knowing the type of track you're racing on and having the car set up correctly to run on that track. And then everything you do above that is just icing on the cake. You know, good graphite, good wheel axles, you know, all that stuff after that is just icing on the cake. Okay, let me just get into the settings real quick and turn back on some of the lanes so we can get times from every lane here.
People are saying they're willing to stay if you want to try again.
All right, well, I'll pull these wheels off here, and oh, you know that gap's pretty big there. Let me just run that down real quick. Yeah, I'll grab a little bore polish, or not polish, a little bore swab, and we'll run it through. And let's see which one's the one. It's way off. All right, and we'll try it out. Or you know what I could probably do? Let's take the wheels from the pledge car and do that, because there might be an inconsistency in the wheels. They all cut pretty much the exact same, so I doubt there's any inconsistency there. So we'll just.
Would that change it though, because you already have the pledge in there?
No, because the pledge really didn't go onto the wheels. It went onto the axles. All right, let me go grab a bore swab, and we'll see if we can make this thing run, or if it's just a huge flop. All right, I went from one extreme of not having a whole lot in there, and now we're going to go to the other extreme. We're going to put quite a bit in there.
So, Jason Carpenter said, my daughter's slowest and fastest races were the same car after it sat overnight. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you know, it's, one thing that I've learned with Pinewood Derby is nothing makes sense. The stuff that you think will work and do awesome, you test it and it's horrible. And then the stuff that you think doesn't have any sort of chance of doing anything is just amazing. So
as proof of this video.
Yeah, seriously. Which, like I said, I tested it twice before, and it was muy bueno. I don't like to come on here and be like showing a flop, so, but that's the way things are. So, all right. You know, I may not have had enough graphite in there. I didn't put a whole ton in there, so. All right. So this time we're gonna do the same thing, except for I've got a little Q-tip swab. I'm just gonna put a drop of this stuff on here, and we're just gonna run it through the bores. And here again, I don't want to put a ton on. I can't even see any of it on there, so maybe we'll put a little bit more. All right. Okay. One down. Two down. I did notice on one of the cars that I was messing with this stuff with, that it did respond to adding graphite pretty favorably. I mean, it picked up another 0.02 of a second. So that might be where we're missing out here. And there was not a whole lot of graphite in these wheels when I just pulled them out. So we'll try round two. But I know that this one will definitely need a break-in run, because give it time to get stuff all kind of moved around. All right.
Dad, do you know who LJO is?
Uh-huh.
He said he will be back to MPWDRL soon.
Nice, exciting. Lloyd he's fast, he's a good racer. Yeah, I guess we could talk a little bit about the MPWDRL. It is a monthly racing venue. The guys that race here are insanely fast, good quality builders. If you want to test your car against the fastest of the fast on this beautiful track with a cool live feed, check us out. And we got some cool trophies. We got some cool sponsors that we work with. That we'll have some monthly giveaways and stuff like that. So it's a really cool venue, fun. For me, I always loved winning and stuff like that, but it was never. I would never want to win. I was more there for the people and the hobby. I've always been one of those that I want to have more fun with the people and stuff than just the winning. Winning wasn't everything for me. For me, everything was hanging out with like-minded people that shared the same kind of interest that I had, and so come, if you want to hang out with some like-minded people that just want to come and have a good race, good chat, learn and grow. I remember my first league race. There was 44 cars in the class that I raced in, and I think I took 42nd. So
yeah, you'll learn.
I thought I was going to go there and just win it all because I'd won everything locally, and boy did I learn quickly that I had a lot to learn. And luckily, a lot of the racers were super, super nice and helpful. And all right, I'm going to run this down once and just see if it'll break in, and then we can see if it's going to be any better. My hopes have been diminished, so. That's no better.
No better?
No, I wonder if I should, if for some reason those other wheels and axles are better. All right, let me run it down just a couple more times to get this stuff kind of moved around, but even still.
What does it cost to race in the MPWDRL?
So it's $10 a car for your first 5 cars. And then after that, there's a breakdown. If you race more than 5, there's a little bit of a breakdown. So, picking up a little bit there, but still off. I almost want to try those other wheels and see if somehow those other wheels is better. Or it just really doesn't like prep stuff, and so you don't have to prep it. That would be cool. That would be really cool. It'd save a lot of time. Yeah, it's picking up a little bit every run, a thousandth or so faster. Stuff getting kind of worked in. I'm going to spray a little more graphite in there. Typically, this Max V graphite doesn't like to be added to. But because of how much product I put in here, I want to make sure that we're nice and dry and running on actual graphite and not mush.
Someone said, that would be great for me to not have to prep.
Yeah, well, and
the no prep game changer.
yeah, seriously. And maybe that's something I'll have to try. I'll have to just try, a polished set of axles and no prepped wheels, and let's see what it runs. Because on the same wheel with this stuff, it was running a 70 without being prepped. So maybe there's something to
They don't like the prepped wheels.
the prepped wheels. And I don't know. I'm at a loss. Trust me, I wouldn't do a video thinking that I was gonna go the opposite way, but like I said, living there. Not the same thing. Alright, well, so try the other wheels, or just, you know what, I have those unprepped wheels here, maybe I'll just try those. You go through a lot of wheels and stuff when you're testing products. Testing cuts, testing products. Alright, let's try one more little run here. Oh, same difference. Alright, it might be the wheels. Let me. Should I try the pledged wheels? Let's try the pledged. Not the wheels that the pledged.
Just try the not prepped wheels. That'd be more interesting.
Well, I'd probably have to have you go grab a new set.
Like just ultralights?
Ultralights.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll try the pledged wheels real quick and see. We'll clean the pledge off, and because sometimes it is the wheels, and when you're timing out to very alright. So we're going to try the other set of wheels and axles, and we'll just prep the axles, because it didn't seem to help any putting any in the bore.
Hey, no.
So,
Go on here, probably no. No?
just sit them there. I'm going to try these pledge wheels real quick, and just see if by happenstance it happens to be a bad wheel. Which, you know, most racers would be pretty happy with the times that this thing's thrown down. This track is typically pretty slow times. A lot of racers that will race on this track will race on, if they race that same car on another track, which typically they run a lot higher or a lot faster of a time. I know some of the other league tracks are, you know, almost 0.02 of a second faster than what this one reads. So this one is very conservative reading. I know our scout track that we used to go and do a lot of scout races with reads about 0.03 faster than this one. So even a 297 on this with a BSA wheelbase and nothing spectacular, BSA axles and whatnot, still a pretty impressive time, but not the differential that I was hoping to see with the polish. Alright, so clean those off. It's funny because it may have just been the luck of the draw of those wheels, but they were same mold numbers, cut them all the same time. They all polished up really nicely. Alright, so we just moved the pledge wheels over. I added the game flopper to the axles. I cleaned off the pledge and added the game flopper to
The game flopper.
It's going to be called the game flopper right now until it can prove itself. And we're going to just see if it happened to be the wheels. Well, it could be close. We want to rerun it? Like actual run it?
Up to you.
Alright, let me just create another round. So, okay, and this thing's really mad at me. So, just schedule that. All right, let's grab another round, see if it runs any better here. And then I have an unprepped set of wheels that we'll try after this one. All right, here we go, first pass. Oh, that was a big wiggle. Still not shabby for how much of a wiggle it just had. Thinking that stuff's a lot more slick. All right. Okay, here we go, second round. Yeah, a little bit too. Ooh. Yeah, it's picking up. It's definitely picking up. If that wiggle wasn't there, it'd actually be pretty big. Now, pick up 2000s in the white lane, which is usually slower than the red lane. Oh! That was a sweet time! But I started it too fast, the computer had to reset. On the timer it says...
What does it say?
Can you
Oh,
see it?
2971. Dang.
Yeah, so maybe there is some to it. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. And it's wiggling.
A wiggling 971.
Yeah, seriously. Now we're going to throw it on here and it's going to go like a 78 or something.
It's gonna go 3.0.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Alright, here we go. Yeah, big wiggle. Yeah, 89.
That's funny.
That was a big wiggle though there. Alright, you know what? I'm going to tighten the gaps like you do on. Get them super tight. See if we can get rid of this wiggle. Now, if this thing doesn't wiggle, I think she'll be lighting it up. I'm gonna rerun that one. Bike as we can. Alright. And it might be funny because how slick this stuff is, with how small the BSA axles are, it might really benefit from a car that's got some nice stainless steel larger axles. Anyways, we'll go. Oh, that's way every time now. Right through that transition, it's flopping all over the place. Alright, well, we'll run it in the blue. It had potential. It has potential.
So you're gonna just have to work out the inconsistencies of this.
Well, I think it's just so slick that it's moving all over the place. But I can't adjust the steering on this car because this is our test car. So, all right. Well, that was not any better. I'm gonna open these gaps up and see if. This car responds to that. Alright, so we'll do one more test of just some completely unprepped wheels and see if it likes that. See if I can get this thing to stop wiggling first. No, that's definitely that's definitely a lot of wiggles. Alright. Okay, one last try, guys. I'll try this other fresh set of wheels. Curious as to see what the steer is on this here. So the steer is right about 4 1/4 inches over 4 feet.
So that's right where you want it, right?
Really, yeah, it's pretty close. The funny thing is that it wasn't wiggling with the pledge, but it's definitely wiggling with this. And I think it's because this stuff is so much slicker that it might require just a little bit more steer. If we could give it a little bit more steer, it'd probably make this thing light up. All right, but maybe a test for later. So now I'm just gonna wipe these down, these axles down, and these are completely unprepped virgin wheels, straight right off the shelf. These are the same cut. Do I put some of the stuff in the bore or just put some of the silicone in the bore or just on the axles?
Dad, do you have any suggestions for running on a wooden track versus a newer aluminum track?
It really depends on the slope of the track, like how the incline, like what, how long the incline is, what kind of degree it's at. Most aluminum tracks, like the best tracks, are right around 27 degrees, but typically a lot of wooden tracks are not that aggressive. They have a lot longer hill and a less of a flat section. So that being said, you'll probably want to get as light of a wheel as possible so that it has the potential to accelerate as fast as possible, because it's not going to have as much of a slope to accelerate it. Because it's a longer gradual slope, you're going to want that car to accelerate as quickly as possible, and a lighter wheel will help with that. And it just really all depends. You're still going to want to ride the rail, but it just all depends on the condition of the track. I would probably shoot for that cog about, right around 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch. If you get on a really good aluminum track like the Leap track, you can go to 1/2 inch of balance on your weight balance. I believe this car, I haven't put it on a cog stand, but this car carries about 1 ounce of weight on the front wheel, which most lead cars are down to about 1/2 ounce on the front wheel. So it's got quite a bit of weight up on the front there.
He said his PAX track is probably like 40 years old.
Yeah, so it's so hard to say. I mean, and it's probably not that big of an incline in a shorter flat section. So I would set the steer up maybe 3 inches over 4 feet. You're not going to need as much of a steer because the reason you need more steer on some of these aluminum tracks is because the incline is so much more, and when it goes through the transition, the car wants to move, and that's when this car starts to wiggle, is when it gets through that transition, it wants to move. But wooden tracks typically don't have that, so you can usually get away with a lot less steer. But then if the track's in horrible shape, you're gonna have the car bouncing around quite a bit. So usually I like to pin the non-dominant wheel, the wheel that doesn't touch. I like to have it tight where it doesn't spin or barely spins. On a wooden track, I would make it so that wheel spins. But wood tracks and homemade tracks are so hard because, and plastic tracks, oh, they're the worst. Our scouting experience started off with the plastic track, and it was brutal.
It was a win.
Oh, we still won, but not because we knew what we were doing, just because we did
We did the most.
whatever we did better than everybody else.
We did the most right, wrong things.
Yes, yeah, our first car was not built right, but it was built right enough to win. And those tracks that are outside guided, like a Hot Wheels track, the car setup is completely different than on a center guided track, and much more difficult to set the car up for. All right. Okay, so I've got some prep on there. Run some, I'm going to run some through the board because these are completely unprepped, and I think we should because there's nothing inside there, so we'll try it and see.
Game changer. If you're gonna do something, do it now.
Yeah, do it on the unprepped stuff. It makes us all really happy that we don't have to go on prepped drills.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Seriously. But hey, you guys weren't doing anything else this Sunday night. I know it's Valentine's Day, so luckily I gave my wife the night off, so.
The gift of being able to sleep.
Yep, she's like, I will take it and I will go just lay in bed and relax, and she has every right to do that because she does a ton. All right. So we'll try round 3. So these are unprepped wheels. These are the same cut. They're actually even the same mold number. So.
Did I just randomly grab the same mold number?
No, because I just cut these at the same time that I cut the other ones. So.
Oh.
All right, and we're gonna one down. Yeah, I was so happy with the way this was performing. I was like, oh, I'll build a graphite car because I really don't like graphite cars. Graphite cars are horrible. It's the worst stuff in the world. You look at my hands and my fingers, I don't like it. But I know that most packs require it. Oil is so much better. But anyways, I was like, oh, the way that this is working, I'll build a graphite car for the Mid-America race. And they'll be super mad at me, and I won't say anything until after the race. But then I was like, if this is worth something, then make it available to you guys. All right. So unprepped wheels with the game flopper in the boards and on the axles, and we're not talking a whole lot. We're just talking some. So. Just so you know, your mom's gonna laugh at me because she's like, "Are you sure it's better?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, everything I've tested, it's been better."
Well, she'll get to be able to sleep and then laugh at you. Her two favorite
she'll laugh at me
things.
tonight. All right, this is just gonna be its little test run here. It's not wiggling, and it's not much faster. Not any faster.
But hey, you know,
We'll try it again. I'm all about testing. Tonight's a good night to test.
Jason Carpenter said the graphite gets everywhere.
It's horrible. I hate this stuff with a passion.
Don't be wearing white clothes when you're messing with graphite.
Yeah.
They'll turn into gray clothes.
Yeah, and you'll have your wife upset at you for ruining another pair of pants or shoes or. All right. Why are you laughing over there, Nate? You smirking?
No, I saw a funny thing that said that America's museum ships, like all the ships they have in the museums, would make the second most powerful navy in the world.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Round 3, no prepped wheels, just some game flopper. All right. But it definitely didn't wiggle that time, so. Here we go. Yeah, a little more soft, but it is a few thousandths off, so. So Pledge is still the reigning king for now, so I figure it out. But then again, being graphite, I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend on it.
It needs its redemption.
Seriously, this is the first test that it hasn't performed better, so go figure. That's why we do them. Definitely not wiggling. So being a little more, it makes me think that if we had, I could put a little bend into this. I could put the other wheel back on it, put a little bend in one of the axles and give it a hair more steer, but then that's not really comparing the same to the same to the same.
Might just have to take the L for tonight.
But it might have the potential, because right now this car's on the limits. I mean, it's, steer is not going to change it much. You can see how much more consistent and smooth this car's running without the prep stuff. So maybe it needs just a hair more because it's so slick. I'll do some more testing with it. The problem is that if we use a car that doesn't have the steer drill and we start adjusting steer and stuff like that, then you can manipulate the times, and I'm not all about that. But at the same time, the potential of this could be exponentially higher if we gave it a little bit more steer to make it stable. So, well guys, I think we have found that tonight, as of now, it's just a game flopper.
What's the game flopper? Is it like a polish or like
No, it's a silicone. It's a silicone with some different friction modifiers. It's insanely slippery, and so you get it on your fingers and your hands, and you can't hold on to anything. It's that slick. So but you put very little film on there, it gets absorbed into the graphite, and it's completely dry on the bores. Should I just throw a little tiny bend into this thing and give it a little bit more steer and see what happens? Just to see. These wheels are going to be so. Now I got to remember which wheels are.
Or maybe you should do some testing and then get back.
We're going to do one more little bend thing and see if we can get the wiggle to go away. You don't want the unprepped wheels, they were slow. Which is just comical to me. Alright, so I just happen to have a bender here. We're going to just put a nice little 1.5 degree bend in it. And I got a Sharpie to mark that. If you suffered through this with this long, you're probably still wanting to see some results. So, all right. So we got a little bend in that. All right. One last.
Someone says put a steer axle in it and use oil and swap out the rear axles with the graphite test.
Using oil will skew it massively because oil is so much better. But what I did is I just put a little 1.5 degree bend in the dominant axle, and so we can get a little bit more steer to see if we can get it to relax a little bit, and see if we can. And if we can, then I think we'll see some pretty impressive times. Threw that on that 71, which was one that just kind of a fluke. And I can't even spin this axle. It's so slick that I can't even spin this axle on the cloth. It just wants to slip out of my hands. All right. So let's try this out. We'll give it a little steer, see if we can get it to relax. Call it a night. So this is just this is back to the pledge wheels, which did seem to be a smidgen faster than the other wheels. And I just applied some to the axle, nothing to the bore. And we'll put a little bit more on it. I actually want to try a test where I don't put any graphite on it. I just use that, but I don't know if that would technically be legal for some of your dry graphite only races. This stuff does dry, so I don't know. It's kind of like pledge, but use much more of a film. Alright, let me give it just a hair more steer here. See where we're at. Yeah, we definitely need more steer than that. It's going the wrong way. Axle pliers. That's a little too much. Tuning boards make a huge difference, guys. If you have the ability to make one, build one, they can definitely help you in your tuning process, especially if you have a track. Alright, that's just a hair more steer. Let's see if it stayed by me pushing it in. these heads to make it easy to we're just going to try to get it close a little bit more than what it had before. Alright, that should be pretty close. Just going to run it down and see if we have any wiggling issues, so I know if I need to add more students. It's pretty solid. Oh, it's dog slow. That's it. We'll call it a 9th layer. And I think it's got so much buildup and crap in it that I have to clean it all out. Clean it all out and start from fresh, but that's funny. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our unsuccessful night. Well, unsuccessful in a positive way.
We learned.
We learned, so anytime we can learn, it's a success. Just sometimes not the success that we want. But let me know if you guys want to see some more live stream kind of videos. Testing different stuff. And that's still off. So, anyways, hope you guys had a good night. Thanks for your participation. We'll keep the chat box up for a few minutes, and in case there's any more questions, and go from there. Should have stopped it. Maybe, maybe not.